Hello.
I thought you were going to do the I didn't kill my wife.
No, I did it. We did a test recording, and I started with that, but then
Yeah, I said nothing because I was ready for I didn't kill my wife.
I didn't kill my wife, but then I just chickened out.
First of all, first movie club of 2024.
Yeah.
And first things first. I haven't looked at myself in a mirror or a screen since last year. So I'm already like, what the not good.
Not good.
Not good at all. I was not doing, this is running a little late because I was sick.
Yeah.
I had some weird shit happen. But that's okay. It's solved.
I was also sick with different weird shit. I mentioned on Record Club, which I don't know, maybe this goes out first. So maybe actually this is breaking news, but I had bronchitis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which means that my voice is going to sound a little bit shitty, but I'm fine.
I didn't have anything wrong with my voice. I fucked up my balance. I got dizzy.
Damn.
So I don't even think I got sick. I think I just fucked up my body.
There was a day we did the what was it? The barbecue cast where I was like, oh, this is a good tool to clean out your ears with water. And like you could put a spray bottle. Like they have a whole suction cup. And I did it, and I did it one spray, and my world was rocked. And I was like, I'm going to throw up. I should have never done this.
That's what happened to me. Well, I didn't do that, but something happened with my inner ear balance, and it made me, I got sick because of that. As you know, I was
weird?
queasy from spinning.
Such a little thing
feeling like I was
is
spinning.
so important, and you don't even think about it. Like if your equilibrium or your like ear stuff is fucked up, you're just like not a person anymore. It's so dependent on that. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we've survived. We've made it through another year.
We made it through. And I also want to point out that look who's copying me now.
Dude.
Yeah,
dude, can you believe this?
I'm the Mac guy, and I bring here, and now Sean's here. Oh, look, I have a Mac too.
I can't.
So now you're
going
to see two Apple dorks.
It has been what a pleasure, what a treat, and again, maybe this goes out before Record Club, but I was doing Record Club, and it was like, oh, I don't remember. Did Bowie have a brother? And I was like, oh, 1 second. Oh, it's beautiful. It was just the best. So, I am going to be, we're apple cucked on this thing.
Yeah, now when we watch the Apple presentation streams or whatever, now when it goes to the Mac parts,
I'm going to care.
Sean's not going to go, oh, I don't care.
I don't care about your chips. Not like, ooh, chips.
The chips are 30 micrometers.
Talk about the M4 chip. I dare you to make that.
On a wavelength, we have we have chipsets unbelievable.
And the graphs that go up and down.
Mm-hmm. I love both. I love those. I love ups and downs.
Anyway, Shakers, let's get to it.
Well, let's get to it. Okay.
Oh, so what movie?
This is going to be The Fugitive, the 1993 film starring Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
Now, I think I've said this many times. I was never allowed to watch real movies as a kid. Like PG was too much, and I can't, for the life of you, I can't tell why. Why couldn't I watch Honey, We Blew Up the Kid or whatever the fuck the sequel? Like why was that too much? It was stupid.
Yeah.
For some reason, this movie snuck through the cracks, and I was able to watch this movie when I was a kid.
Terrible murder in it.
With a terrible murder in it. This came out in 93. Obviously, I didn't see it in theaters, but I was 9 when it came out in theaters, and then I probably saw it on VHS, like a couple years later. So probably like 13 maybe.
Yeah.
But I watched the shit out of this movie, and I think it's because I wasn't allowed to watch anything else. Honestly, that was good.
Yeah.
So I don't know when you first saw it, Rocco.
Man, 5 years ago.
Oh, recently.
I didn't see it when it came out.
That's
it was in culture. This might be the first time I actually sat and watched it from beginning to end.
Really?
I always caught it on TV, and it started 20 minutes ago. But I had seen all of it. There was nothing I saw in this that was like, oh, I'd never seen that before. It was kind of, but I think this is the first time I saw it on like home video. You know what I mean? As opposed
This
to
is
TV.
definitely a movie, and we are all aware how biased I am about things I watched as a kid. You know, and I always try to watch a movie when we go to it with like fresh eyes. Like, okay, pretend like I've never seen this before and watch it.
Yeah.
Like, what would I think of this movie?
Yeah.
And sometimes the bias wins over, but with this movie, I'm watching it now, and it's like, oh, I didn't get it. Like, I got it, but also like the samples being tampered and the pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that. Like, as a kid, I was like, I don't know who Devlin McGregor is. Who's that guy? Like I don't know what that is. But now watching it, it's like, okay, like I finally like fully get what this movie is actually about.
Yeah, when I saw it when I was younger, it had to have been longer ago. It had to be. I saw pieces of it very young.
Yeah,
just not the whole thing. And yeah, it's like when he says, "I didn't kill my wife. I don't care." As a kid, I'm seeing that like, "Oh, guy's an asshole."
Right.
But it's like, no, this guy's doing that. His job is not to be the judge here.
Right.
Like his job is purely to get this guy back who is broken out. And so this is irrelevant at this point, and it really sets the tone for like what he's up against.
I did not realize until this viewing and researching it that Tommy Lee Jones changed that line, and it wasn't supposed to. Which is like
there was a whole conversation there, right?
It was a conversation, and it was the main line was going to be, "That's not my problem," which is still a good line, and it still kind of conveys the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
But Tommy Lee Jones, like, I just think he would say, "I don't care," and it's like, but that is probably the most iconic exchange of this movie is, "I didn't kill my wife. I don't care."
Yeah, that is definitely the most iconic.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are so many, like, I remember, do you remember the Simpsons episode where it's like Milhouse being chased and it's the same thing, and like Milhouse makes the jump? It's a whole, they did a whole exact shot for shot thing. But yeah, that I remember that. I don't care. It's so good. So, this movie came out in 1993. Based on the 1960s television series, which I've never seen that.
That I had seen pieces of as a kid.
Really?
Because my parents liked it.
And like I was thinking about it because like The Fugitive, this movie was a hit, like a huge hit actually. Yeah. And you would think like they would capitalize on that and put it on like the Nick at Nights or whatever. Because I was watching Dragnet, and like during this time, Nick at Night was I Dream of Jeannie and all this shit. You think they would have like, hey, put The Fugitive on there too. That's popular now. But I don't think they did that. I don't know. I don't know where you would have even watched The Fugitive.
Yeah, I can't. I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but I just remember that whenever they did lists of the top finales in TV, that was always one of them.
Oh, really?
Like,
it's a good one.
Fugitive was like, they found the one-armed guy.
Oh,
it was like a long payoff.
And I didn't even realize it was about a one-armed man in the TV show. Yeah. That's the same thing. Guy kills his wife.
Yeah. It was, and it was almost like a catchphrase from the TV show. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. That was a famous phrase. I bet you'll even see that in other stuff when in other shows. Even in like The Sopranos, I'm pretty sure someone goes, "Hey, it wasn't me. It was a one-armed man." Hey, that was a famous TV.
I thought they were referencing the movie in The Sopranos. Nope. I didn't realize.
No, that was a famous.
That's hilarious.
Thing in the show. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. So we'll get into the plot in a second, but let's really quick talk about the making of this movie. Harrison Ford was not the original person they wanted for this movie. It was, Alec Baldwin. Which, can you imagine? Like, I don't know why there was a thing where a couple times Harrison Ford and Alec Baldwin were like considered for the same role. They're not even close to the same person to me.
Not the same energy at all.
Alec Baldwin. Yeah. And Nick Nolte, Kevin Costner, and Michael Douglas were the other ones they were considering for this.
Kevin Costner would bring his own thing to it. I don't think that would have been bad.
No, it would have been good. But I can't
picture the other one.
Michael Douglas, Nick Nolte, yeah.
But Michael Douglas, maybe it would have been a different energy, but he could have done it.
Nick Nolte said he felt like he was too old for the role, even though he's only 1 year older than Harrison Ford. So
but I could see that.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, he would have looked. Yeah, that's interesting.
Harrison Ford was into this. he kind of like pitched himself for this because he was really excited about the idea of having a mustache and beard because he said like the studio execs never let that happen because his quote was like, yeah, well, they pay for my face, so they want to see it. But like in this one, I could disguise myself and like look different for a change. So
yeah. Speaking of which, that was something that made it extra funny. They did a series in the 90s called the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Yeah.
And there is exactly one that show would sometimes jump ahead in time. Like, hey, here's old Indiana Jones recalling when he did this, and it would show him as a kid.
But they would get Harrison Ford to
well,
do that?
In most of these episodes, it was Indiana Jones as an old man.
Old.
Like, and so they got like a fucking 80-year-old dude with an eye patch. Like, I'm Harrison. I'm Indiana Jones. Yeah, right. This is what I used to be. He was such a weak, like I don't know how to describe it. It was not a flattering version of old Indiana Jones.
Interesting.
But it worked for the episode. Like, I didn't used to be this way. This is what I used to be. And then it would be like 20-year-old Indiana Jones. But it didn't work as obviously later in life we got old Indiana Jones.
That's true.
They made movies of old Indiana Jones and it wasn't like that. So did you know George Lucas did a George Lucas thing?
Shut up.
And now when those episodes are released, all those segments, they were wraparound segments where you'd see old Indiana Jones on either side, are removed. It's on Disney Plus. Those scenes are removed. Old Indy isn't in any of them except one episode where it's old Indiana Jones, but he's just kind of in his 40s, 50s. And they got Harrison Ford with a beard.
Oh, because he's filming this.
Yeah, and you have to look it up on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
There's a scene where he literally they're in a house that's about to be snowed in. They're worried there's going to be an avalanche, and then a guy walks out. He walks outside, and then Indiana Jones goes, "Well, things don't work out the way you want them to," and he gets a saxophone. And when he plays that, a bunch of snow collapses outside onto the bad guy. And it's the corniest thing you've ever seen. But they actually got him, and it was during this time.
Wow.
And he's like, well, I can't shave, but it's like, well, but it's older Indiana Jones. Okay.
Also, like, if you can get Harrison Ford, I don't give a fuck what your facial hair looks like.
Yeah, exactly. But
like, come on in.
Just funny. It's indicative of this one specific moment in time.
That's so funny. Also, for the role of Sam Gerard, Tommy Lee Jones wasn't their first, maybe it was their first choice, but Gene Hackman and John Voight were also considered. And I feel like Gene Hackman, I can imagine doing this.
He could have totally done it.
John Voight, I don't know.
He would have brought his own spin to it. Probably wouldn't have been bad, but it wouldn't have been as good, I think, as those other two.
Now, I do think that Tommy Lee Jones in this movie is so fucking good in this movie. He won the Academy Award, which I did not realize, for Best Supporting Actor. This is his only win, I think, too. And Tommy Lee Jones is a great actor, but like this is like his role.
Yeah. I mean, he really owns it.
I'm trying to think of like a better like guy searching for, like, I don't know,
having
like
someone on your tail, a U.S. Marshal or
the last person you'd want is this guy.
Is this guy? He's talking like this. All right, yeah, just the facts. I'm gonna listen. I don't bargain. You know,
don't
he's
bargain.
Yeah,
so good.
It is totally a 10 out of 10 role.
Oh, look at that. Leg cuffs. Leg cuffs with no legs. That's a weird thing to see. What is that? It's like he's such a fucking dick, but he's good.
Nothing's getting past him, and it's scary to see it. Like
it's good. It's really good. Anyways, okay. Let's get into the plot and see what we think.
This
of movie.
Also, too, as we brought up, we mentioned the I didn't kill my wife scene, you know, whatever. Before we get into the plot, I just want to, it's rare. I always like to point out the movies where when you make the montage of movie scenes, like the greatest movies of all time, and you show, frankly, dear, I don't give a damn. Oh, this, I'm your father. I'm all the classic things. That's in there.
Yeah.
So you got to give respect. I think we brought it up when we talked Matrix 4. You know, Neo dodging the bullets. You're showing that. If you're doing a montage of the greatest all-time film list, that's in there. So I always like to point those moments out. We got one, The Fugitive.
You know what? I would like to. I thought I would never say this. So everyone, get ready. This year's gonna be fucking wild.
Yeah.
We should go back and look at that movie Babylon, only because
Yeah,
at the end they have like this, like the whole
Yeah.
like, oh, the movies that made movies what they are.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is in there.
I bet it is.
It probably should be.
That movie, that scene has been clowned on hard on Twitter recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're like, in retrospect, this is some fucking douchey
Oh, they're
shit.
trying to make a
Yeah.
point. They're trying to like make you like emotional, and it is not
this
working.
is some clowny shit to end this movie on. That's
I mean,
so funny.
You can go back and watch our review of that movie, but
I definitely liked it more than you guys, but there's some gall. To
I will stand by that main theme song is a banger. That song is great, but that movie fucking sucks. Okay. So, in January 1992, Chicago vascular surgeon Dr. Richard Kimball returns home to discover his wife Helen has been killed by a one-armed assailant. The movie starts off pretty fucking hard. Even like the credits are still rolling, and this was a thing that my parents didn't have, but all my friends' parents had, which was like marble spheres. I don't know why this was a thing that people had decorating their house.
Yeah.
But
early 90s for sure.
It was definitely early 90s.
Yep.
She gets, the guy grabs it and smashes her on the head with it, which is fucking brutal. And that's like with the first like 30 seconds this movie fucking starting. It's like a gruesome thing of her being thrown and this crazy fight.
Yeah.
Anyways, it quickly, within no time at all, you see that Richard Kimball, Harrison Ford, is being brought in to the detectives. They're questioning him. He doesn't know. He like has scratches on his neck, but it's from his wife. He says so.
Yeah.
But like he thought that no. She thought I was the attacker, but I wasn't. Like it doesn't look good for him.
Yeah.
I guess in that scene, he did not know the questions they were going to ask, so he really would be flustered. Which I always love, like little details like that, where it's like
he definitely seemed
like don't tell me what you're going to ask me. I'll just that way I'm like caught off guard by this, as he would be.
Well done, because that scene, I am going like, is he making this stuff up? Like, what is happening?
And
here?
like
made me nervous.
It makes me nervous because you know he's innocent.
Yeah.
But you're also like, it's not looking good, man. Like
answer
the
Tell
question.
Him.
No, don't say that it's her fingerprint. Oh shit, you did it. Whatever. So, anyways, within the first, it's the questioning. Now all of a sudden he's on trial. Oh, he's guilty. They play the voicemail thing, which like I watched this with Emma and Beckett, and Beckett had seen it before. I don't think Emma had.
Yeah.
But like, it's always like they answer every question. It's like, well, why is it saying that like she said that he killed him? That makes no sense. And you see the voice, it's like, oh, she's speaking to him. Richard, he's trying to kill me. But like it on the voicemail, it looks like she's telling the operator, Richard is trying to kill me, as opposed to like her yelling out to him, but she can't. Oh, Heartbreak City. He gets sentenced to the death penalty, which I guess Harrison Ford argued on that and did not want the death penalty. He's like, give me life. Like, this guy getting the death penalty is a little whatever. And so they filmed both versions and they ended up going with what the producers wanted, which was the death penalty. Not that it really matters, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I guess he has less to lose in the whole grand scheme of things if it is the death penalty. It's like, we're just going to kill you anyways. Like, you might as well just go fucking nuts because this is your one shot to like clear your name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess maybe it makes sense. Anyways, then they're doing a prison transfer of, I think it's 4 guys, 3 guys, 4. And they're taking them to a different prison. Harrison Ford is one of the people. And then it seems like Harrison Ford is unaware, but they're going to try to escape and like cause this bus to crash. And have like there's a plan of a guy eating Alka-Seltzer. He's foaming with the mouth. The other guy's freaking out. Then the guy makes the shiv out of toothbrush and stabs the guard. The shotgun goes off. The driver is killed. They crash the bus. Whole fucking crazy sequence.
Yeah. Which, by the way, so the bus gets hit by a train.
Yes.
And all that stuff. There is a lot of effects work there that I think goes by in an instant where it's like, wait, what all happened there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Like, you just think like, oh, good thing Harrison Ford got out, or Richard Kimball, sorry. Good thing he got out of that bus before the train hit it, you just think like, wow, phew. But you don't think like, how did they do all that? There's no computer effects in this part,
right?
To my knowledge,
right?
I think what they did, like he jumps out of the bus just as the train hits it.
Yeah.
I may be wrong. Maybe people out there know. I think they used like rear projection.
They did. I do
Did
know.
they?
They did.
Oh, okay.
For that one scene.
Yeah, where it looks like that it's about to hit, and it's just a quick thing where he jumps out of the way.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think they would risk Harrison Ford being on the track for that.
He jumped onto like a mat or something like that. Like
it looks great. There's nothing that doesn't work there.
Well, here's the thing with that crash. So the bus crashes. It's, as we said, he's trying to get out. He saves the guard. The other guard like abandons his partner. Harrison Ford is the hero, saves the guy, throws him off the thing.
Yeah.
And then jumps from the moving train. The train hits the bus, and it's one of the most spectacular like train crash things I've ever seen. It cost $1 million to get that shot.
Damn.
They really did crash a train into a bus, and they had one take to get it right.
Damn.
So they were looking in like what it would cost to get a model and trying to figure that out, and they realized like it might just be cheaper just to actually fucking crash this thing.
Yeah.
So they did this. This whole part where they filmed it was filmed in the Great Smoky Mountains.
Oh,
which
Dollywood.
Where Dollywood is. We drove through the Great Smoky Mountains on the tour in, was that 2021?
Yeah. I think so.
And you know what? When I read that and watching the thing, I'm like, it does look like that. Like you definitely can see that. Like it gives that vibe.
Yeah.
I guess the bus and train crash stuff is still there. They they kept it there, and like I guess you can see it. There's like some kind of other train that you can like ride, and you can see the crash site still or something like that.
Yeah.
I would fucking love to go see where they filmed this.
Yeah, absolutely.
They tried to predict what was going to happen with the crash. And all the projections was like, okay, we'll be at 36 miles an hour, and then we'll crash into the bus. We think this cart's going to go here. And they tried to like figure it all out and plan it all for all the camera shots because they had like 1,000 cameras filming this.
Yeah.
But the conductor did it wrong, and they went 42 miles an hour instead of 36. Jeez. So they went faster than they thought, but it didn't end up mattering, and it just looked fucking cool anyway. So it didn't change anything. But
damn, man.
I can imagine when you have one shot at something and it costs, $1 million, I can't imagine the stress of like, we're going to do this, right? God. We are going to do this. Yeah. Okay, don't fuck this up. Anyways, Harrison Ford escapes. He is hurt. One of the prisoners gives him the key, and then Harrison Ford is like, hey, be good. Like, we're going our separate ways. And then the movie just takes off, and the rest of the movie really is just like an epic chase scene, which, I think I love chase movies. I'm thinking about it. Like, Catch Me If You Can is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, I love the idea of someone trying to outsmart someone else. Yeah. And they make it this movie like...
You like a good cat and mouse.
I do. Yeah. I really do. But for the most part, I think I hate people being framed. That makes me so stressed. But this is what this whole movie is. And so I guess I like the cat and mouse part of it because it is like, please get away. Like, please figure this out because I know you didn't do this. And if it doesn't end positively, then I'm going to be fucking upset, So then the rest of the movie, so I guess they filmed, he goes to a hospital and he's a doctor. So he is treating himself. There's a lot of, I think, little funny moments in this movie. Like, he goes into the hospital, which I guess is the hospital that actually was down the road from where they filmed the train crash thing. So it really is, like, right there. He fixed himself. So he goes in, like, takes some guy's clothes. He takes his, like, food or whatever. And then when he's coming out, he sees the prison guard that he saved. And so he tells the guy, like, hey, check his abdomen. Because, like, he knows he's been stabbed, but, like, the guy's like, how did he know that? Like, funny little like moments like that of like him just like be one step ahead of knowing everything is just, I don't know. It's a fun time. Then then you meet Deputy Gerard and his crew, including Rose from Lost is in the mix, and Cypher from The Matrix. So it's like the dream. And what's the other guy? The guy who almost gets shot at one point, and then he doesn't bargain to him. What is that guy from? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Bigger dude?
Tall guy, had a ponytail.
Oh.
You don't give a shit about your ponytail or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the young guy.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Oh, you don't?
But Ernst from Lost is in there too.
He is?
Yeah, he's the other guy in the team, the like kind of chubbier guy.
Really?
Yep. Who says it's Hinky?
That is.
Yep.
Wow.
You got two Losties in
the same
movie.
little.
Yep.
That's why they're such a good crew.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep.
I really now it's killing me where that guy is from.
Yeah, beats me.
All right. Well.
But I was gonna say, I was telling my brother this when I was watching this movie. I was like, there are certain actors that will always pick shit I hate.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this actor's in it, I'm gonna hate this fucking movie. Oh, sure enough, it sucked. There's certain actors that are like that. I don't know if you have that.
Oh, yeah.
There's certain bit actors. And I'm like, you're always in shit I fucking hate.
Yeah.
Likewise, there are actors who I'm like, every time you're in something, it's my favorite.
Interesting.
It's the best. And one of those is Joe Pantoliano. Joey Pants, Cypher, The Matrix.
Yeah.
That guy only picks movies I love.
Interesting.
He is always in or shows Sopranos, case in point. Anytime he's in something, it fucking rules. That's all. Just want to share that. Anytime he's in something, I'm like, this is great.
That is, okay, Rocco, I'm looking at the list right now of the cast. Where is that young guy? What does he look like now? I don't see him. I've been trying to find, like, where do I know you from? And I don't know. Wait, there's a picture of.
It could be him.
No, I don't know. I can't find him. That's so weird.
Yeah.
I know him from something besides this movie, but I can't tell you what. Anyways, there are definitely actors like that where it's like, I will go see a movie because you're in it because I trust you.
Yeah.
Like you have a good taste. So, although like I don't think that like in 1992 this guy really had much of like he probably was stoked he got cast in. Like he's like choosing parts.
Yeah,
he just got this one, but
yeah.
I agree. Okay, so then he steals an ambulance, is on the run, which an ambulance is a bold thing to take. People are going to notice you. And they did not work out for him. And that's when he gets caught between the tunnel with the helicopter and the police behind him. He goes into the water duct, and that's where we have the famous scene of I didn't kill my wife. It's the first time these two meet. And then he makes the jump. Now, I found out that this dam is in North Carolina, and I would have loved. This is another thing. I would love to go see this dam.
Oh,
Can you imagine if we drove past that on tour? Oh, that would have been sick.
Maybe we did and we didn't know.
I would have noticed. That's such an iconic looking dam. Like, hey, you guys, I'm not a dam expert. I don't know a lot about dams, but I think that this one looks interesting. Like the water running out of it and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
The fugitives jumping out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can go beat by beat, but we don't have to. I'm just going to say that scene's iconic. The first half of the movie is him just straight up escaping the
prison system.
The prison system, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yep.
The second act is him actually like, okay, I'm going to go back to my old life in Chicago, and I'm going to try to figure out like who did kill my wife. I'm going to find out who did it because they think I did it. I know I didn't. No one's on my side.
Yeah.
I'm going to clear my name.
Yeah.
So he goes to his old friends. Jane Lynch is on the list.
Yeah.
Which I guess there was talks about making a subplot of them having like a romantic thing.
Him and Jane Lynch?
Jane Lynch. And then also Julianne Moore was another thing they considered.
That's what I was going to say that's what I heard about is Julianne Moore. I'm like, man, she's got a bit part in this. And then, it was like, oh, there's a whole plot
and
deleted.
they filmed it, I guess. And that's why, because like she's billed pretty high in the movie.
Yeah.
Like you look at it and it's like the third name is Julianne Moore. It's like, why?
Yeah.
That's weird. But I think, they filmed it. But
kind of a romance blooms there. And I guess when they screened it, it was like, yo, this is all fucked up around his wife.
Yeah, it's
like, don't just throw that out and now he's with someone new. Like, you can't do that.
I really agree that it's like if they would have had a romantic thing in this movie, it's like that is not what this is about.
Yeah.
The romance has been killed.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of this movie.
Yeah.
Is like he had the romance and
it's not
he had the perfect
priority
life.
now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was the wise choice. I guess they were all like scared to tell her like, yo, was a big role for her, and she was on all the stuff, and they're like, we cut your scenes, but I guess I think I heard you like she was like, oh, I'm in it, like
she is still
whatever,
in it.
like
small part,
yeah,
but she's great in it, and it's like she doesn't have a career. Like we all know Julia Moore, she's fine.
Yeah, she got big around that time anyway, so
yeah. It's fine. Yeah, interesting though. So, anyways, he goes back. He finds his old friend, Dr. Nicholas something. And he gives him some money. Now,
hi, Dr. Nick.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then it turns into basically there's chasing around Seattle and him going into like breaking into like medical buildings to find any guy who has one arm in Chicago.
Not in Seattle.
I say Seattle, Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago. Which I guess Harrison Ford also really wanted this to be filmed in Chicago.
Yeah.
Because he grew up there, I guess.
We did see parts of it, like when they show the river dyed green and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We did see that on our trip.
We did.
This year, I think, right?
Yeah. When I was going through Chicago, I'm like, oh, The Fugitive. Like, I kept seeing the little parts.
I did recognize those parts. That's
now,
cool.
I guess this is a fun fact. So there's a part where he goes to visit a guy with one arm. Immediately, he goes to the fucking like jail, talk to an inmate, which is very ballsy if everyone's looking for you. Then ends up being seen by Tommy Lee Jones. There's a whole like manhunt chase scene. He goes into a parade. I guess it was kind of improv a little bit to film at that parade.
Oh, okay.
It was like they decided to do it like a couple days notice.
Yeah.
So they really just filmed the parade that was happening that day.
Yeah.
And just Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford would just run out into the parade. Wow. And Harrison Ford would just try to hide from him. And Tommy Lee Jones, and there's just two camera guys just trying to film it.
That's awesome.
So people were watching the parade like, is that Harrison Ford?
It felt
like,
natural. It felt
it
like,
is.
It felt, when I'm watching that, I'm like, they really did this, didn't they?
They really did.
That's cool.
So they went out into the actual parade. So people who are watching the parade in the movie are just not extras. They're just watching the parade.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Happen to be in it.
It gives a way better feeling to it, you know.
Oh, yeah, it makes it real. But let me see. There is a very fun fact that there is another feature film filmed during that exact day, same parade. So they filmed another movie during the same parade on the same day called Blink. Michael Apps Blink. I don't know what this is. It's an American neo-noir thriller directed by Michael Apt. Anyways, I just thought it was interesting. There's another movie of that same day parade.
You know what this feels like? It feels like I only found out recently about William Friedkin, who did Exorcist.
Yeah.
Because we watched it, and I'm like, damn, this guy's a great director. He did all kinds of cool shit. And it's like, yeah, after Exorcist, dude, he has this incredible, people are saying this badass movie, Sorcerer. Oh my God, it's an intense movie. It's really good. Yeah, when did that come out? May 25th, 1977. Oh, that's why I didn't hear about it. You know what else came out that day?
Was it Star Wars?
Yeah.
I knew that.
It's like, well, we filmed this cool shit at this parade. Oh, we got the most awesome footage. Yeah. They were shooting something else there, though. This Fugitive. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So anyways.
Never heard about that.
There are a million different close calls.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, but then, finds the guy who did it, recognizes him, goes into that guy's house, breaks in, calls Tommy Lee Jones, and then leaves. They're like, stretch it out so you can trace it, which you're thinking like, oh, hurry up and hang up. And then he hangs up the phone, but doesn't actually hang up, he puts it down because he wants them to find it.
Yes.
Because this is the fucking guy. Then the rest of the movie is him trying to figure out, okay, I figured out who framed me, but why did he frame me?
Yeah.
Then it's going into the part that as a kid I didn't get of like, he's a doctor. He found that there's these liver samples from this new drug that is not good for you, but they're switching the samples out because they want this drug to get past the pharmaceutical company, which we all know now. For the most part, they're all pretty fucking evil.
Yeah.
They're named Devlin McGregor, and they are switching the samples to get this thing out there to the FDA approval, so they'll get billions more dollars or whatever. And then he finds out his old doctor friend, Dr. Nichols, who helped him out earlier, is the person who set him up.
Yeah.
Dr. fucking Nichols. And then they have a whole confrontation in like a keynote speech, essentially, or like, whatever, like at a hotel. Harrison Ford interrupts it, and then all of a sudden he walks through, and it's like, well, everyone knows you because you're fucking the infamous fugitive who killed his wife, and now you're yelling at him.
Yeah.
Then Dr. Nichols like has a whole chase scene. It's I don't know. It's a whole like I can go into beat by beat, but I don't need to. It's a chase scene.
Yeah.
Dr. Nichols at one point is going to kill Tommy Lee Jones because Tommy Lee Jones admits in this chase scene that he figured out what happened and how Harrison Ford is innocent. Harrison Ford then saves Tommy Lee Jones's life. They put him in the car, and then basically it's like in the car, Tommy Lee Jones like, let me get these cuffs off you. Like, I'm tired, whatever. And then he just like drives off.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the end of this movie. Like, you have to kind of figure out like, well, I guess he was vindicated. Like,
did he get off?
I'm assuming
is that it?
I'm assuming he does, but they don't tell you. You just kind of figure it out that he's probably fine. So, okay, that's the plot of this movie. Now, I will say it was nominated for 7 Academy Awards. It made $344 million, and it was the biggest.
For $93. That's pretty. 1993.
$3.
That's pretty amazing.
It was the biggest August movie ever until The Sixth Sense, and The Sixth Sense came in. Like,
that was an August movie, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's interesting.
I know.
Huh.
But it was a huge hit. So much so they made a sequel, kinda, of U.S. Marshals.
Yeah.
Which I did see in theaters.
Oh, really?
I saw that one in theaters.
I cracked up so bad. Again, I love Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah.
Always loved him. Joey Pants, they call him. I was cracking up. I watched the bonus features on the Blu-ray for this. And he told the story about, he's like, they have me in the script that I get hit by a metal bar in the final chase. And I turn around and it like pretty much decapitates me kind of, and I'm dead.
I mean, he does get hit by that thing pretty fucking hard.
He's like, in the script, I'm dead. I die. In that scene. He's like, but this ain't my first rodeo. And I know if there's a sequel to this, you're not counting me out. So he's like, so they film me and I'm going, He's like, if you watch that scene, they're wheeling me out. I'm going, no, God, everything hurts. Everything hurts. And he's like, is that okay? And he said he checked with the director, and he's like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, whatever.
Who cares?
Okay, fine. Yeah, okay. So he does it again. And then he's like, they put me in the ambulance, and then, all right, cut. And he's like, and I opened my eyes. Harrison Ford standing above me. You know what? You're supposed to be dead. Like, well, Harrison, if there's a sequel, whatever. And Harrison goes, there's not gonna be a sequel because I ain't doing it. I ain't doing a sequel. And he's like, yeah, it's fair. It's fair. He's like, well, proved you wrong, Harrison. Then they announced U.S. Marshals, and we're gonna bring this crew back. All right, and I'm in it. He's like, so it paid off.
That's so fucking funny.
I was dying laughing.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I love that shit. I found out who this guy was. The young guy who.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see his picture.
Tom Wood is his name. I know him from, I think it's from Apollo 13 and Bushwhacked, which I did watch. Bushwhacked. It's not a good movie, but I watched it. Yeah. So I definitely knew him from something. He's also in the Wonder Years in one episode.
Under Siege.
Under Siege. So great. I mean, I thought he was a bigger actor than he was apparently, but Tom Wood, like him. Okay, so let's talk about. When do you I mean, is it too early to Shakers?
Yeah. What else is there to say about it? Is it possible this is one of the best? This is probably one of the best TV adaptations.
It's the only one to ever be nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah. It's this one. I feel like I say best. There might be other ones I don't know that that I can't think of right now that are whatever. But this is the one that seemed to transcend.
Yeah,
where it was like, oh, you kind of know the movie maybe more than you do the show. I would say most people I know probably don't know that there was a show.
I think that, for the record, have you seen U.S. Marshals?
No.
I remember it didn't capture the same thing. And I think the problem with U.S. Marshals is that if I remember, and I only saw it in theaters once, so
Yeah.
this is 98 we're talking.
Yeah.
But I don't think you have the other side of it. Like, you need the Harrison Ford part 2.
Yeah.
And it's like, in this movie,
You can have too much of a good thing.
the only person you really hate in this movie is, the one-armed man.
Yeah.
But you get where Tommy Lee Jones is coming from.
Yeah.
But you also want him to fail, too, because Harrison Ford is innocent.
You get the sweet and sour, you know? Too much of one. It's like, honestly, what worked so good about Pirates of the Caribbean. You got the classic swashbuckler over here. Orlando Bloom is kind of the heartthrob, but then you got Johnny Depp, who's cool, but he fucked up. Okay, and then you kind of get a good mix of everybody, and then later movies it's all Johnny Depp,
right?
And it's like, all right,
exactly.
I'm ready to kill Jack Sparrow.
Yeah,
you gotta flavor all the parts equally. You gotta get that mix right.
Yep. So let's do shakers. I picked this movie. Look, I was scared to go into this movie because I got a lot of shit for Dave. A lot of shit.
The Dave effect.
The Dave effect.
We'll call it Dave syndrome. That doesn't sound great.
We're gonna call it Meet Dave.
Yeah. Okay.
This movie is fucking great, and the music is awesome.
Oh yeah. Who did James Newton Howard?
Who went on record saying he thought he failed with this.
Really?
He was like, I did not do a good job.
What else did he score? Why am I going blank? He didn't do Lord of the Rings, did he?
That was Howard Shore.
Oh, Howard Shore, of course.
I think
James Newton. What else did James Newton Howard do?
I don't know.
I want to know.
But, now that I have this fucking laptop, I can tell you.
Well, he's done all the Hunger Games movies, I'll tell you that. He's done a shitload of movies, but I know what's the most iconic shit?
The Fox.
Oh, he did. Okay, Waterworld. That score slaps.
He did Waterworld?
Oh yeah, that score fucking slaps.
There you go.
He's done a ton of Disney movies.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan's movies. I mean, he's done a ton. We could go on and on forever.
So I think that
Oh, he did King Kong. Howard Shore was the composer for King Kong, and then was doing a bunch of shit that I guess Peter Jackson was like, no, don't. That worked for Lord of the Rings. Don't do it for this. And then he bailed, and this guy came in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the music is, I think, great. He was nominated for Academy Award, which said he was shocked. He said his nomination, he's like, I got nominated only because the rest of the movie was so good. If it was just my score, it wouldn't have won or been nominated. Which I think the music on this is the perfect
music's great.
Dun 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 dun. It's a very, you're into it. Anyways, this is a 5 for me.
Wow.
This is a 5. This movie is a perfect, for me, if you want a cat and mouse movie, this is the one. This and Catch Me If You Can are the two that like I can think of that are like, in my mind, like this is like why movies are fun. This is a fun movie all the way around.
Yeah.
I love this movie, so I'm gonna give it a 5.
Now it's gonna seem like I'm really scoring this low, but it's not because it's not anything. Yeah, everything you mentioned is done. I don't disagree with anything that you said. This is a great example of like the fun of going to the movies. Like to me, it's like The Fugitive. What more do you need to know? This guy didn't kill his wife.
Yeah.
It's like you boiled it down to its simplest essence, and this does it perfectly.
Yeah.
So I have no complaints. I'm gonna give it like a 3, but not because it's way worse than what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just I would give a higher score to something that I think that I have more like, whoa, I'm going to be thinking about this for a long time kind of thing. Or is up among my favorite, whatever. But that isn't any takeaway on this. I think it does what it does incredibly solid. So when I say 3, it's the most solid 3 you could give it.
I think for me, it's like I a lot of times look at it like, well, what could they have done to make this better?
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I'm like,
you really.
I don't know. Like the effects, like the train exploding is fucking exciting. Like everything they did was like, well, it's not the acting, the music, the story. Yeah. I think I liked all of it. So like, I just think it's just one of those things where it's like, I can't find a thing that I would change.
Why I would rank a Catch Me If You Can higher than this is just due to the other layers. It's the father and son thing being more emotional. Maybe the performances hooked me a little more. Not that there's anything wrong with the ones in these.
Yeah.
But, there's other layers that would cause me to rank that higher.
And I would, hey, spoiler, if you ever do Catch Me If You Can, it's going to be a 5. But
I thought we did. Maybe I'm crazy.
I don't think we did.
No, maybe not.
I don't think we did. But it would be a 5 for me.
Yeah.
But there's not a higher than a 5.
Yeah.
But it would be a higher 5 than this movie.
Yeah.
Because that speaks to me in like every way of like the aesthetic.
Yeah, that's more my thing. But for me, it's just the emotional level. I will say, if anything I could criticize is I'm not emotional I don't have an emotional connection to this, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I am connected enough to the characters that I care about them.
Right.
So they nailed that. But, then you go to Catch Me If You Can and it's like, I'm going to cry over this.
Right.
So that's the only reason I would rank that higher. What this movie does, you can't do it better, in terms of you're going for the Hollywood blockbuster Fugitive movie. Come on, what can you do better? So it sounds like I'm insulting it with a 3, but I promise it's the highest 3 I could possibly get.
I love like showing like movies like this to like Emma and Beckett, because it's like, they watch movies now, but I want to be like, movies were it's fucking great. Like, like the 90s were a great time for movies. Like, let's watch some like 90s movies.
Yeah,
like, this is one of them.
This would be one that I would.
It's like a quintessential 90s movie to me.
I'd have like this and Independence Day, like ready to.
Independence Day, Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
like these are movies that are like what
define the 90s.
Right. Yes. Exactly. And this is one of those movies to me. Anyway,
so I'd probably bump it up 3.5 ish, but whatever. I'm gonna keep it at a 3. Just whatever.
Well, you're picking next, Rocco, so don't fuck this up.
We're gonna stay in the Harrison zone.
Oh.
We're in the Harrison Ford zone.
Oh, year 2024 is year of the Harrison.
Another movie that I just feel like you didn't see it, and we never got to talk about it like on the podcast or whatever. I kind of briefly did when we were at Anime Expo. I talked about it on a rough podcast that we did. But, it was just kind of not anything. It was just briefly brought up. I want to talk about it with you and rewatch it myself because now it's on home video. I can. We're going to watch the new Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Okay.
Because, again, we never had a chance to discuss it. I had a lot of different feelings leaving the theater when I saw it, so I want to watch it again.
Well,
we're going to.
I will tell you that I had zero interest to watch this movie, so I promise you I will not watch this movie otherwise for work, but I will watch it.
Okay.
And I will let you know what I think. All right. Okay. Sounds good. Indiana Jones, what was it? In the Dial?
The Dial of Destiny.
Indiana Jones Dial M for Murder, and we're going to watch that. Check it out. We'll see you next week. And hey, thanks for subbing to us this year. I'm excited for the 2024.
We got all kinds of stuff locked and loaded.
So much stuff locked and loaded, guys. You're going to have the best time. And again, look at this laptop. Look at that.
No, don't.
That's even cool. Wow. That looks cooler with that. You see the logo.
I didn't kill my wife!